Hey, what's up and how's it going? And my beers, I'm so glad that you have took your time to spend with me right here today on the Mick Rock and Bolt Wrestling Review Show. I'm your co-host, Mike Mick Rock Wilson, and last night was NXT from the Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. And before I get into the show itself, overall, it was an okay show. You know, there were some positives as well as negatives, which I will get to on this review. It just felt like a hit and miss overall episode, but the matches themselves were actually pretty solid. And the first match was The Ascension versus Hunico and Camacho for the NXT Tag Team Championships. And like I said, some of these matches on tonight's show were very solid, and this was one of those matches. There was great tag team work between both the Ascension and Hunico and Camacho. Now, the only issue I have with this match is that Hunico and Camacho only took 3 weeks to build up to this match. They came back, they done a quick 9-second match, they go over the Ascension in a non-title match as well as a one-on-one match as well, and I think the match just felt rushed, and that's why it really didn't generate any steam at all going into this match. So with that being said, you know, it's questionable now where Hunico and Camacho are going to go after this match. Right now, after the match, even though they lost, they actually look pretty good as a team. Now, they could capitalize on it now or do something else with them. Who knows what NXT is going to do with Hunico and Camacho. But when it comes to the Ascension, I think they are a great tag team, and I think they are one of the highlights of the tag team division on at NXT. And the tag team division itself right now needs to be rejuvenated right now, because it just feels like there's not many teams on NXT, and there needs to be more. Now, having said that, next week on NXT, the Ascension are going to issue an open challenge. So we'll see who answers the call on next week's 200th episode on NXT. Also, we saw Alexander Rusev take on Cassius Ohno. Now, we all know that Cassius Ohno has been released, and NXT tapes these shows a few weeks behind, so we all know that. And on top of that, of Cassius Ohno's release, NXT just treats him like a you-know-what. And I guess it's NXT logic where you have someone that's, we all know, is released. You might as well just treat him like he's going to be released. It's foreshadowing of it, even though we already know he's released. So that, you know, that's pretty much understandable of what NXT is doing to Cassius Ohno. And I love how in that match, Alexander Rusev just really showed his strength. I mean, Cassius Ohno is no small guy. He's a big guy. And for Alexander Rusev to hit him with multiple moves that showcase his power really shows his strengths as a singles competitor. And his management with Lana is growing more and more on me. The more we see him with Lana, it's more believable than when he was with Sylvester Lefort, which I will get to in a bit, because he was on NXT last night as well. What happened was that we saw Scott Dawson versus Mojo Rawley, and we saw Sylvester Lefort in that match. Well, not in the match, but managing Scott Dawson. He's still the manager of Scott Dawson, and I like Scott Dawson's style of wrestling. It's very he has this brawling style. It's old school and new school all mixed up into one. And you can kind of compare him with Arn Anderson as well. Brendan Lee Smith, I think you're going to like what I'm going to have to say. I think Scott Dawson, out of these two wrestlers that were competing in the ring, Scott Dawson, I think, is the better wrestler between him and Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley, I don't think he's very believable as a babyface. It kind of feels forced. He has this gimmick where it's hyped, stay hyped. I like that he does get the fans hyped. He gets the crowd going, but it just feels forced into his character. And his moveset, even though it matches up to his hype style, yeah, I think he needs to change a lot of his moves. He's a big guy, and I think he can do better. I think he should not steal from other divas' move set, like one Funkadactyl doing the butt to the face move. I think he should really change that. And his finisher as well, he just sits down on a guy. Here's the thing, when Earthquake done it, he made it look devastating. He's a big 400-pound guy. But with Mojo Rawley, he's not a real heavy superstar like Earthquake was. Earthquake was a 400-pounder. Mojo Rawley is a 275-pounder. I think he needs more of an impactful move than just a sit-down senton on his opponent. So with all that coming into play, it was an okay match, but I think Scott Dawson felt more believable throughout that entire thing. Also, we saw a promo from what we saw last week. We saw the incident between Antonio Cesaro and Byron Saxton. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing what's going to happen now next week. I understand now there's a match between William Regal and Antonio Cesaro, and I really can't wait to review that. I think that William Regal on NXT, as well as Antonio Cesaro, does wonders for the show. They both benefit from not only helping out the younger talent, but also just being on the show itself. It really shows that NXT wants to have superstars that are on Raw and SmackDown and veterans as well to be on the show to make it important for the young guys to go up to Raw and SmackDown. That's what I believe. And I think that William Regal's reaction to what happened last week as well, I thought was really good. He was really, uncomfortable, and he was just dead serious to Antonio Cesaro. Says he's going to take him down next week. We'll see what happens on the show. And shortly after that, we have a Divas Tag Team match. It was Bayley and Natalya versus Summer Rae and Sasha Banks. Now, Charlotte, there was a no-show, so I understand, she does have an injury, so I hope you get better, Charlotte. Heal up soon. And before this match even started, we saw that little promo from Bayley and Natalya going into this match, and what I got out of it is that that little promo was kind of about Charlotte, the rivalry between her and Bayley, and Bayley, she's adorable, love her to death. The way she interacts with other divas like Natalya is just really nice to see on the show. And when we had the match, I thought it was a great, solid Tag Team Divas match, and it's also one of the highlights on the show as well. The NXT really treats the divas like really well. It's not where you see like Raw and SmackDown where they don't have time to put on a good match. They actually put time in on NXT to have a really good match, and I thought this was a great solid wrestling match between these four divas. And I like the little things as well. I like, because Bayley is such a childlike character that she wants to emulate other veteran divas that are on Raw and SmackDown, and I love what she does on NXT, where she uses some of what Natalya has already done in the ring and use that. It's great storytelling, and it really shows how important the divas are on NXT. Like I said, they really bring importance to the Divas division. And I thought overall, the Divas division itself throughout the year has been great. Keep it going, NXT. You're doing a fantastic job with the Divas division. And the main event was Sami Zayn going one-on-one with Leo Kruger. And I thought this was a kind of a hit-and-miss main event. It was an okay match. We never saw Sami Zayn do a lot of high flying, but in the same time we saw Leo Kruger, develop his style throughout the match. The only thing I don't like is that the match had to end with a clothesline. Very questionable, because there's someone else that I know that has the similar style of Leo Kruger, who uses a clothesline, who will take your head off and make you believe he just took your head off. And I think that Leo Kruger, like Mojo Rawley, needs to change his finisher, apply a submission hold or a high impact grappling move would be more believable for Leo Kruger because of his style of wrestling. It's very in-your-face, brawling, smash-mouth kind of style, and he's also a hunter as well. I love the hunter gimmick. It's interesting, but it also reminds me of the Wyatt family, which is weird because I would like to see Leo Kruger actually be a member of the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family should be a cult. And to have more members like Leo Kruger will probably help him in the long run. Who knows? I would love to see that if Leo Kruger does happen to go up to Raw and SmackDown. Put him with the Wyatt family. Make the group look like a cult. That's what I think could help Leo Kruger's career. If not, as a singles competitor, I think he should, like I said, change his moveset. But overall, this was a so-so okay match. The styles, the high flight and the grappling style does mesh well together, but we never got to see a lot of it on the main event. Only a bit. Like I said, it was an okay match. After the match, we saw Leo Kruger try to attack Sami Zayn again. Sami Zayn gets him, flies out the ring, and attacks Leo Kruger when Leo Kruger tried to attack Sami Zayn. So I like the setup of the rivalry continuing. It's just the end result of the pinfall finish kind of fell flat, but overall it was a so-so match. And the show overall, like I said, it was a average show at best. And with all that said, that was my review of last night's episode of NXT. For the MRB Wrestling Review Show, I'm Mike McRock-Wilson, and hopefully next week NXT's 200th episode is a better one, because next week we have the Open Challenge from the Ascension. We also have the Lumberjack match for the NXT Championship between Adrian Neville and Bo Dallas. And Triple H will also make an appearance as well. I don't know what Triple H is going to say just yet. We'll see what happens. And with that being said, get plenty of rest, MRBers, and always do your best.